Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and last time we looked at circuits, we looked at the circuits that have never been used in the FIA Championship. This time we're going to look at the circuits most used in the FIA Championship, and specifically we're looking here at the Nations Cup and the Manufacturer Series. We are excluding the Super Cup because I have not looked at that at all. Obviously Nations and Manufacturers has been in from the very beginning, so that is what we're going to look at. Now, we are talking from 2017 and the very first test season all the way up until the end of this season. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but there is some interesting information there. So we are going to look at each championship individually, give you a top 10, and then we'll give you the top 5 overall tracks, but you probably can work that out faster than this video does it in terms of presenting it for both championships. So the top 5 for both, and then the top 10 individually. Now you're probably going, well, isn't it going to be the same? No, you are wrong. So just to give you an idea, Nations Cup, they have used 55 tracks for Nations Cup out of the possible 76. I'm excluding dirt and tourist layout at Nurburgring there. While Manufacturers has used 57 tracks out the 76. Now you've got to remember as well, there are some tracks that have been used only once, and that is potentially only in Nations Cup, or maybe only in the Manufacturer Series. For example, Saint-Croix that we looked at last time, reverse has never been used. Forwards has only been used once, and that was in the Nations Cup. So there's already a difference there. So it's kind of interesting that they're picking out certain tracks for certain championships here. And I suppose, is it because of the balance issue? Who knows? But that's why we're going to look at this in terms of the circuits and what has been most used. So first of all, let's jump to Nations Cup then. And in a joint 10th place, it's been used 9 times. We are going to Suzuka and also Bathurst for this one. So 2 tracks there, used 9 times in the Nations Cup. An interesting one, of course, because I think Suzuka's one of the latest tracks. I can't remember from memory. I know it was an update later in the game, whereas Bathurst has been in from the very beginning. So straight off the bat there, an interesting comparison. We then go to 9th place, Red Bull Ring, which has been used 10 times in the championship. Obviously that was brought into the game, and then obviously wet weather was added to Red Bull Ring, so that made its use even more usable, if that makes sense. So it has been used 10 times. We then have a bit of a leap then for 8th place, which has been used 14 times. That's Monza. Obviously turn 1 Monza, pretty carnagey, so maybe it's not been used as much because of that, who knows, but Monza 14 times. We then jump to Yamagiwa 1, which has been used 18 times. So another big jump there. 18 times for Yamagiwa 1 there, going forward. I quite like that circuit. I hate the chicane. But yes, 7th place for Yamagiwa. It's now a joint 5th place. And for this, we go to both Seaside, Dragon Trail Seaside, and also Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. 19 times. Both of these have been used in the Nations Cup. 2 very good circuits, I would say. One's not very good for overtaking, Brands Hatch. Seaside, we have the Death Chicane, of course. So, in 4th place, just off the podium in terms of use, we have Maggiore GP in the forward layout. That has been used 20 times in the championship. A very good custom circuit, I've got to say. It's a very enjoyable one, and a good addition by Polyphony, I suppose, to the Gran Turismo franchise. We then look at the top 3. So in 3rd place on the podium, it's Interlagos, which has been used 22 times in the championship. Another interesting one there for you. Obviously, that's where the balance of performance was originally done. I don't know if it's still done there, but Interlagos 22 times. We then go to the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. That has been used 23 times and comes in 2nd place. Silver for the Nurburgring GP at 23 times. So who is the winner? Now you've probably already guessed this, if I'm honest, but with a colossal 30 uses in the Nations Cup alone, it is Suzuka, which it boggles my mind. 30 times it's been used, and I can tell you when I was doing this, there were some seasons it had a double header at Suzuka, and it's kind of crazy when you look at it. We've got circuits that have never been used or have only been used once or twice, and then we have 30 uses of Suzuka. So it does boggle my mind a little bit, but that is obviously the top 10 for the Nations Cup. We're now going to jump to the Manufacturer Series, okay? So, what is the highest or most used circuits for the Manufacturer Series? in 9th place. We have a joint 9th place, by the way, because obviously it's top 10. It's Monza and Red Bull Ring, which has been used 13 times. Now, it's interesting that Monza hasn't been used as much. So obviously they maybe realised that there's a bit of an issue with power cars there. I don't know. Red Bull Ring, of course, we have the wet weather, which does get used now and again now in the championship. But obviously most of those races, I believe, have been dry. But 13 times, so it's already much higher than the Nations Cup there in terms of, you know, in the top 10. It started at times 9 in Nations, times 13 in manufacturer. Kind of interesting. Now, number 8 is a huge surprise to me, and I'm sure it'll be a huge surprise to you folks. 14 uses, it's Alsace. Yes, Alsace has been used 14 times. It's a circuit I wasn't originally particularly fond of. I've gotten more fond of it because I think it does actually give some good racing. It does have some weird corners though that really, really aren't good for racing. But Alsace comes in at P number 8. P7 then, Maggiore GP. So used very heavily in Nations, also used heavily in manufacturers there. 16 times for that circuit. A good circuit, I would say. And it's got a quite nice balance in the grand scheme of it, depending on the class that is used. In a joint 5th then, with 18 uses, we have the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit and Bathurst, which is an interesting one for me, because obviously Bathurst, very much a power heavy circuit, and it has been for a while. So it's quite interesting that they're using that circuit a lot. Nurburgring GP, more of a neutral circuit, so that's what I expected it, or where I expected it to be. So 18 uses for those circuits. In P number 4, we are, and it's a big jump as well, it's Drag Trail Seaside with 22 uses there. So quite a significant amount of use. And believe it or not, it's very close to the winner, actually. We're only jumping up by 1 each consecutive time now in terms of getting to the winner. But Seaside comes in there at 22 uses. So we have no 3rd place now. We jump to a joint P2. And they are Suzuka and Interlagos. Now, Interlagos, as I've mentioned in the past, was originally the Bouncer Performance Circuit. I have no idea whether it is still a Bouncer Performance Circuit used, but it is the one that has been used in the past. So I expected this to be very high, and obviously Suzuka, we saw how much it's used in Nations Cup. It's used very heavily in manufacture as well. 23 times there for both of those. But now you're probably wondering, who's the winner? I expected Suzuka to be the winner, right? Well, obviously you're wrong, because we've just discovered Suzuka is P2. In P number 1, it's Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit with 24 uses. So 1 more than Suzuka and Interlagos. Kind of interesting. Obviously it's a short circuit. I would argue it's balanced more to handling cars, but there is a lot of strategy available there. The pit entrance is a bit crazy, to be honest, but Brands Hatch GP, 24 times it's been used. A significant amount there. So there you have it, the top circuits in Nations and Manufacturer Series. But now, here's the key and king of it all, the question that you've probably been wondering. If you're quick at maths, you've already worked this one out. What is the top 5? Well, I can tell you right now there's no 5th place. We're straight into a joint number 4. It is Nurburgring GP and Seaside for a total of 41 uses. So that is a lot. When we've not used some of these tracks at all, or even once, we've got 41 uses here. Taking the bronze medal then in the podium, it's the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit with 43 uses used in the championship so far. The silver medal goes to Interlagos then, 45 uses in the championship so far, and as I say, I expected that to be high in the manufacturer series because of that balance of performance issue. Now you've probably already guessed it, mainly because of its Nations Cup usage, which is astronomical in the grand scheme of it. But the fact it's so far ahead of every other circuit, Suzuka is the gold medalist here, the winner of most used circuit. 53 times it has been used. Now I love Suzuka as much as everybody else. I love that circuit. But 53 times versus some circuits that have never been used? What? I don't get it. I really don't get it. But Suzuka is your winner here. 53 times that circuit has been used. It boggled my mind when I saw the results to this. It really did. But there you have it. The most used circuits in the FIA. And I'm going to put a spreadsheet down below, and it will show you the current, the whole list, so you can see where certain tracks end up, which circuits are being used in manufacturers and not nations, and all that good stuff. Now, We are going to do another video on this in the future. We are going to use tracks that could be in Gran Turismo, and are literally in it, should we say. They are literally in the game, but are not accessible. So keep an eye out for that video. I do hope you enjoyed this video. It was very fun to do. It took me quite a while to get the data. Obviously, there's an aspect of some human error there, possibly. There was a conversation about Maggiore Center on the last one, but we couldn't find it when we had a look for it. But that's going to be it for me now, folks. If you did like this video, do like it. It makes me understand that you do like these kind of videos. If you did dislike it, make sure you leave a comment telling me what you disliked. But that's going to be it for me now, folks. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video or live stream very soon.